Okay, good afternoon, everybody. Let me introduce myself. My name is Sri Lakshmi Raj. Okay, I'm basically a chartered accountant, and I'll be handling financial accounting for you people. In fact, I'll be sharing the syllabus with another faculty. Okay, you will get to know that faculty soon. Maybe I think tomorrow we'll have the other session of financial accounting class. Okay, so we have the divided portions among ourselves, and we'll finish off the portions maximum at the earliest. Okay, as soon as possible. Yeah. Okay. Um, I hope I'm audible, right? கேக்குறது இல்லையா எல்லாருக்கும்? Okay. Okay. Sure. Fine. See, before moving to this syllabus, okay, we just have some few discussions. See, as such, you people will be aware that the previous exam happened in the online mode, right? So June 21 Patti, we don't have the clue on how it is going to happen. So let's be prepared for both the online mode and the offline mode. And as such, the entire syllabus carries for 100 marks. Okay. So you need to be prepared the entire syllabus. You can't leave out any chapter. Like is it choice limit lama, is it important, is it's not important. So adu madri vandu don't go for any options to skip any chapter. Okay, give equal weightage and importance to all the chapters. Excuse me. Okay, so give equal weightage to all the chapters. Okay, so this is the first thing. Secondly, the earlier offline mode was more of, you have to write the answers, presentation of the answers, the accounting format, everything was needed to be followed. But the previous session happened in the online mode. So in that, the weightage of the marks was quite different. Okay, we will discuss about the syllabus pattern also before moving to the chapters and all. The third thing is you need to revise the problems. Okay, just seeing or observing the problem will not be sufficient. As far as accountancy is concerned, you need to work out as much as possible. Okay, in the papers, pamphlets, and papers, try to work out as many problems as possible. The more you work out, you get the confidence to approach the problem. Okay, each and every problem is unique with its own concepts, right? So you have to work out many problems to have your own confidence to, like the moment you enter the examination hall, and then the scare to approach the problem will not be there. Okay, so that you can achieve only when you revise and work out many problems and understand all the concepts. Okay, then the next thing is very important thing at this scenario is please take care of your health. Okay, that's very important. என்ன படிச்சாலும் வந்து உடம்பு வந்தாதான் வந்து you can go and write the examination. Yeah, so please take care of your health. That is very, very important. So from my side, I will assist you and I'll ensure that I'll finish off the portions. I'll guide you with all the problems and the solutions and the concepts. Okay, so before I move on to the syllabus, let me wish you all the very best. Let me welcome you all to this course first of all, and let me wish you all the very best. Generally, my approach to the batch will be like, before I start the session, Institute Lavanda, the first day of the class, I generally have a 2-minute prayer to the Almighty, seeking the blessings to all the students so that ellaru vandu pass aayi everyone has to become a CMA. I generally seek the blessings from the Almighty. This I generally do it on the first day of the class of every batch. And you can't hear me? Am I audible, ma? People are saying that the voice is breaking. சரி. Okay, okay, okay. I'll நான் வந்து ஸ்லோவாவே பேசுறேன். Okay, fine. So what I was saying, that's what. Okay. So let me. So the first day of the class usually starts in that way. Okay. So because of that, now since it is going to be online mode, so எல்லாரும் அவங்க இடத்துல இருந்தே வந்து just pray to your favorite Almighty. Okay. So Atmatma, from my heart, I'm just praying for your people that everyone should become a CMA soon. Okay. Let me wish you all the very best. Okay. God bless you all. Fine. So let's start the syllabus. You're welcome, dears. See, the entire syllabus is for 100 marks more. Okay. The syllabus is split in this manner. Accounting basics. Accounting basics for 25 marks. Okay. Underneath that, you have the concepts for accounting, like all the basic accounting assumptions and the concepts, then depreciation, and then rectification of errors. Then special transactions. Underneath that, it is bills of exchange, consignment, joint venture, and then insurance claims. You can't see the PDF? Okay. Okay, okay. Wait a second. One second, ma. Wait. Now, can you see? Okay, I'm sorry, dear. Check. Okay, fine. Okay, ma'am. So we're discussing on the syllabus pattern. So 100 marks. Okay, accounting basics is grouped under 25 marks. Okay. Now underneath that we have the accounting concepts, depreciation and rectification of errors. Then there is a special heading for special transactions. Underneath that we have bills of exchange, consignment, joint venture, then insurance claims. All these put together under 25 marks. Then second category is under financial statements. This is grouped under 40 marks. Underneath that, we have the final accounts. Your basic trading P&L balance sheet is there, the final accounts. Then non-profit organization, single entry system, and then partnership. Partnership is from admission, the date when the partner joins the firm, till the day when the firm is converted into a company. The entire process, admission, retirement, death, dissolution, everything is there. Then 20 marks is for self-balancing ledger, royalty, hire purchase, and then branch and departmental accounts. And the last category is 15 marks for computerized environment. It's basically a theory chapter, okay? Means the advantages of using a system for accounting, advantages of using a software which is bought from outside, software which is customized, okay, all those factors and all. So it is full and full theory chapter only. Then you have the accounting standards 1, 2, 7, 9, and 10. Okay. The IFRS has got implemented, but as it's the applicability of IFRS for your examination, I'll keep you posted based on the notifications we get from the institute. Okay. So as such, be prepared for the accounting standards 1, 2, 7, 9, and 10. Okay. In case if there is Ind AS applicability or there's any changes, I will let you know. Okay. Cherry. This is what is the examination. Is no for 25, 40, 20, and 15. And earlier it was, both for 25 and 75 was a split. And the pre-examination happened in the online modes. It was 88 and 12. Okay, MCQ and descriptive pattern both was there. So let's see how the June examination is going to happen. So as and when the circulars and notifications come, we'll have the discussion in our classes. Okay. Now let's proceed to this subject. Okay, இன்னைக்கு வந்து it will be like partial to be theory, and then time permits will move on to the chapter. So initially it is going to be some theory only, just a recap of whatever you have learned in your 11th, 12th, and if there are any foundation students, just எல்லாமே ஒரு revision that's going to be a recap of all whatever you have learned. So you don't have to write anything or note down or whatever I'm going to discuss now. Just அப்படியே ஒரு brush up மாதிரி பண்ணிக்கோங்க, right? Okay. The first topic is bookkeeping. No, you don't have to make total syllabus and all, ma. That is not hard and fast rule. அதெல்லாம் ஒண்ணுமே கிடையாது. You just relax. See, marks எல்லாம் கொடுத்திருந்தாலும் still you need to be prepared with all the chapters. Okay, so just relax and just recollect whatever you have learned. Yes, this session is getting recorded. I think the recordings will be posted in the site. You will get to know to the institute, but it is recorded. Recording is happening. Okay. Fine. The first topic is bookkeeping. Notes kandipa send பண்ணுவேன். Okay. See, bookkeeping, as we all have studied in the 11th standard, the art of recording the transactions. Art of recording the transactions. Yes, definitely, I will send the PDF. Yes, notes, problems, everything, I will send you the PDF. Okay, you will receive it. Don't worry. So, the main objective of bookkeeping is what? You get to know the profit or loss of a business. See, day by day, every day, you keep on doing purchases, you keep on doing sales. So cash, bank transaction, everything is happening on a day-to-day basis. But unless and until you record it, you tend to forget, right? So and the tendency to forget, you have to remove another end up control. You are making a note on whatever is happening on a day-to-day basis. So the main objective is to calculate, or you arrive at the profit or loss of a business. So since we cannot memorize each and every transactions, we are having a record for our ready reference. So bookkeeping is mainly done so that you can have a control over the assets, control over the liabilities. See, last month you would have borrowed some 10,000 rupees. This month you are in need of money. Again, you borrow some 50,000 rupees. So if you keep on borrowing, at one point of time, you will not know to who, from whom you have borrowed the amount and what is the interest rate that's following, right? So to have a control on whatever the assets the company holds, whatever the borrowing company has from external liabilities through bank or any other institution for that matter, you need to have a proper bookkeeping. Then one more thing we can say is to know the financial position of the business. Okay, to know the growth. Okay, how well the company is proceeding towards its goal. For all these factors, the books needs to be maintained. Okay, the main thing is we need to have a record. We need to have a control on our assets and liabilities. We need to know the growth and the financial position of our business. So for all these factors, there is a requirement to maintain or record all the transactions. So this art of recording the transactions is called as bookkeeping. Okay, fine. The second topic is financial accounting. Syllabus subject it's called as what? Financial accounting. Recording the transactions following the golden rules of accounting. Okay, everybody would be aware of the golden rules of accounting, but I will come to that point at a later stage. Okay. Now, as such, what is financial accounting is you're identifying a transaction. Okay, you're applying the golden rules and you're recording the transaction and then you're summarizing it so that it is in a readable manner. Supposing you're buying an asset, say for example 2 lakh rupees, and asset you're buying you have a purchased asset, you have the invoice, everything is done, but how will you communicate this fact to the shareholder? Unless and until you record it in a journal entry form, unless and until it gets reflected to a ledger account or through a trial balance or through a balance sheet, the shareholder will not know what has happened inside the company, right? So you tend to pass a journal entry, asset account data to bank account. The next pause you go for a ledger. The asset account will show some balance, so that will get reflected in your trial balance. That goes to a balance sheet on the asset side as a asset worth rupees 50,000. Now the shareholder, when he sees it, he will get to know, oh, the company has bought a new asset this year. So you're trying to inform in the information whatever has happened inside the company by following the golden rules of accounting. The financial impact is getting recorded. Okay, so only then the outsiders, the users of financial statement will get to know what has happened inside the company. So the end part is what? It's either the profit and loss account to show the profit or loss earned by the business, or the balance sheet, which we prepare on the last day of the accounting period. So transactions, only when it is recorded in a proper manner by following all the golden rules of accounting, people will get to know what has happened inside the company. So this one is called as a financial accounting. I will let you know, Priya, but as such, I don't know whether there is any WhatsApp group. I will keep you posted. Okay, it will being the first class. Let's see. Okay, both Tamil and English are saying. I got a message saying that please explain in English only. So later, okay, Cherima, I'll do it. Cherry. The third topic is cost accounting, right? Now, cost accounting is account application of costing principles and methods. Okay. Sure, sure. Now, basics I will explain to you in a very slow manner only. Don't worry. Since you have said that you are an engineering student, maybe you can try getting the 11th and 12th standard books, mom. It will be useful for you. Sure, yeah. Because it has all the basics. Okay, I'm sorry. I just saw now just saw your message. You can try getting the 11th or 12th standard books, and so cost accounting is application of costing principles and costing methods. Okay. Now cost accounting is more concerned with the products, the cost of products manufactured or sold or services rendered. Now when you say cost of a product, say for sugar or oil or rice, so you're identifying the cost of the product. It helps in your internal decision making. The management it helps in taking the decisions. So cost accounting is more concerned with the cost of the products manufactured or sold. Then last one is the management accountant. Now management accounting is use financial and costing information. Management control its functions. It's mainly for decision making. So you're combining both the cost accounting and financial accounting and using both the informations so that you're advising the management in taking proper decisions. Okay, so it's mainly into decision making. You're planning the business activities, okay, safeguarding the assets, optimum utilization of resources. So இதெல்லாமே it comes under your management accounting. Okay, so bookkeeping was the art of recording the transactions. Financial accounting is application of the golden principles, golden rules of accounting. Cost accounting is more concerned with the ascertaining the cost of the inventory of the products manufactured or sold or whatever it is. Management accounting is applying both the financial information and costing information, thereby advising the management in taking proper decisions. That is what is called as management accounting. Okay. Now, the next thing is the accounting cycle. Yes, recording, journal, journal, ledger, trial balance, adjustment entries, closing entries, then financial statements, both P&L and English. Now, when I say recording, recording is the first step, right? Let's take an example of the same example we take, purchase of an asset. So when you purchase an asset, the asset comes inside the company. It may be a cash purchase or can be a credit purchase. Cash purchase, immediately the cash outflow will be there. Okay. Or else it can also be a vendor purchase. In that case, the vendor account will be credited. So the first part, the passing of your journal entry. When you pass journal entry, it is asset account data to bank. Okay, to bank, or it can also be to the vendor's name. The second step is what? The ledger. Just recollect all your 11th standard. Ledger. Ledger, you'll open the asset account, right? In your asset account, be what? To the vendor's name. In the vendor account, be what? By the asset account. Then the next step is what? The trial balance. Trial balance will have the balances of debits and the credits. You pose the respective balances, asset, and then the vendor's name. Then adjustment entries. Adjustment entries are your prepaid, outstanding, accrued income. Okay, all those entries are called as your adjustment entries. Then you have the closing entries. Closing entries are the transfer entries. See, generally nominal account transactions shouldn't show any balancing figure. Yeah. Only your balance sheet items will be showing the balancing figure. Nominal account expenses and incomes. Okay. Kandipa will send you the notes more. Okay. So nominal account transactions will be transferred to your trading and profit and all the trading and profit loss account transactions will not have any balancing figures, right? So in that case, you will pass an entry so that you transfer it to the trading and P&L account. That is called as your closing entries. The last thing is called as the financial statement, which is nothing but your profit and loss account and the balance sheet. This is how the entire accounting cycle happens for each and every transaction. Now, when I say financial statement, it actually gives information to shareholders, government, lenders, employees, competitors. It provides information to shareholders. Shareholders can know information is in there. They get to know the profit or loss made by the company. Why should they get to know about the profit or loss? Because they are concerned with the dividend aspect. Yeah. So profits they'll have the dividend rates to be on the higher side. So shareholders, it plays a very important role. Secondly, to the government. Government, they want to know that the company is following all the legal requirements or not. Like for example, income tax authorities, GST, they try to probe inside the company so that they will know what is happening inside. Okay, whether they have furnished all the returns on the respective due dates, they have paid all the taxes on the correct dates or not. Then thirdly, lenders. Lenders, you can take example of the bankers or any financial institutions who have provided money on loans to the companies. So they would like to know about the financial statements because the repayment capability of the company will be revealed by the balance sheet because the solvency position of the business will be revealed through the balance sheet. How well is the company? How well the assets of the company so that it has the funds to repay the amount whatever is borrowed on the due date. So lenders are concerned in that perspective. Employees, why should an employee want to know about the balance sheet and P&L account? He wants to know about the growth and profitability. Why? Because based on the growth and profitability, he'll be given incentive, increment, hike, right? So the company is on a growing trend, improvising trend. For the employee, he will also be assured of his increment and incentives. So employees, in that way, the financial statements provides the information. Last are the competitors. Competitors are they play a very important role because அவங்க தான் வந்து ஒரு push இல்லையா கம்பெனிக்கு வந்து மேல மேல grow ஆகிறதுக்கு mergers, acquisitions. So all these things, competitors, they want to know what has happened. Okay, this company has got merged with another company. Okay, this company has been acquired by another company. Okay, we need to work hard then. So competitors, it again plays very important role. So financial statements provides information to shareholders, government, lenders, employees, and the competitors. Now, when I say financial statements, I'm using a common term called as financial statement, right? Now, when I say financial statement, it is one second now. I will definitely send you the notes. Recording notes I will definitely send. Sneha, I think you need to ask the institute people. This I can't help you, Kanna. 2:30 to 4:30 group 2 Naka. I understand, but you need to ask the institute office. Chaliya? they will advise you. Okay. Now, when I say financial statements, it comprises of balance sheet, profit and loss account, and then the cash flow statement. Now, when you say balance sheet, what is the purpose of the balance sheet? It gives us the solvency position. As I already said, how equipped is the company with the assets, how financially viable is a company, and the financial position on the project பண்றது வந்து it is only the balance sheet. Then what does the P&L account show? It gives us the performance of the company, how effectively the business has performed. Okay, irrespective of the increase in expenses, rise in price rates, everything, how well the company has performed in earning the profits. The third one is the cash flow statement. Cash flow statement tells us the movement of the cash, the ability to generate and utilize the cash, how the cash movement has happened. The cash has been utilized for buying an asset, or cash has been utilized for cash has been received in the sale of asset or sale of investments, or is there any borrowal of money, or is there any receipt of shares or repayment of loan? How the movement of cash has happened inside the company, that you get to know only with the cash flow statement. So all these three things put together, you call it as a financial statement. So this entire set of financial statement is useful to the users. Users are the shareholders, lenders, government, competitors, and employees who make use of the financial statements for their decision making. Okay. Till now it is clear. Am I fast? Okay. Recollection, சரியா? ரொம்ப சீரியஸாலாம் ஆக வேண்டாம். அப்படியே just 11th 12th எல்லாம் அப்படியே you just have to recollect. Relaxed ஆறாம வந்து just have to listen to class. But I hope nobody is sleeping. நல்ல 2 to 4 நல்லா சாப்பிட்டு தூங்குற time, right? Cash flow statement. See, cash flow statement it has 3 activities, ma. Operating activities, investing activities, and financing activities. Okay, in all these 3 activities, you explain the movement of cash. Movement of cash, the cash can be either can be an inflow of cash or can be an outflow of cash. Yeah. So inflow, when does an inflow of cash happen? When you receive any interest income. Okay, when you sell off any asset, you receive cash. When you issue shares, you receive cash. When you borrow money, you receive cash. Okay, all these project as inflow of cash. Outflow of cash எப்போ நடக்கும்? When you incur expenses, payment of salary to the staff, right? Purchase of assets illa you repay some loan, whatever has been borrowed, you pay some interest to the bank. So all these comes under your outflow of cash. So in the full financial year, you have an opening balance. You try to analyze the movement of cash. What has been the inflows? What has been the outflows? Ellathiyum poga plus minus ellam panni you arrive at a final balance, right? That final balance has to match with the closing cash balance in the books. Okay. So with that statement, you analyze the movement of cash, how the cash has been utilized. Sometimes it will be negative, sometimes it will be positive. So I will have to decide, okay, your cash now anavasama spend pannikena. So you analyze the movement or the utilization of the cash. That has gone. It has gone for investing purpose? No. It has gone for operating purpose? No. The cash has been kept idle. So everything you get to know with this cash flow statement. Now is it clear, ma'am? Okay. So next thing is the types of accounts. Types of accounts are classified as personal and impersonal. Now comes all your golden rules. ஞாபகம் இருக்கா golden rules of accounting law? Okay, very good. Very good. Golden rules சொன்னோனே நிறைய எஸ் வருது. அடடே சூப்பர். Very good, very good. நான் வரேன். ஒவ்வொன்றா கேட்கும்போது வரேன். Fine. Now, personal and impersonal. Wait பண்ணுங்க. Wait. Accounts are classified as personal and impersonal. Now, underneath personal account, it is again categorized as individuals, artificials, and representative. Individuals, name of a person or name of a company. Name, individuals I am name. Artificials comes under your banks. Representative are the outstandings, prepaids, those items. Impersonal again categorized into real and nominal. Underneath real, it is tangible and intangible assets. Underneath nominal, it is expenses and incomes. Yes. Now you can have a recap of the golden rules of accounting. Personal account says that debit the receiver, credit the giver. Real account rule is debit what comes in, credit what goes out. Nominal account rule is debit all expenses and losses, credit all incomes or gains. Yes. Have I written the rules correctly? ஞாபகம் வருதா எல்லா கோல்டன் ரூல்ஸும் கரெக்டா? எத்தனை வாட்டி 11th மேம் சொல்ல விட்டுருப்பாங்கல்ல, பர்சனல் அக்கௌண்ட் டெபிட் த ரிசீவர், கிரெடிட் த கிவர். ஓகே, வெரி குட். ஓகே, ஸோ ஆல்வேஸ் ரிமெம்பர் தீஸ் ரூல்ஸ் ஆஃப் அக்கௌண்டிங். சரியா? தேங்க்யூமா, தேங்க்யூ ஸோ மச். கரெக்டா எழுதியிருக்கேன்னு நீ தான் சொல்லியிருக்க. தேங்க்யூ ஸோ மச். 5 marks. Yes, thank you. Okay, so let's proceed further. So journal, the second we discussed on the accounting cycle, right? There's one more thing called as subsidiary books, right? Subsidiary books means purchases book, sales book, purchase returns, sales returns, bills receivable, bills payable, and then journal proper. So all these comes under your subsidiary books. Subsidiary books are the unique feature another. No cash transactions and purchase and sale of assets will not be posted in the subsidiary books. Correct. Then you have cash book, 3 types of cash book: single column, double column, triple column. Correct. Single column will have only the cash column. Double column will have cash and discount. Triple column will have cash, bank, and discount. Then ledger posting, trial balance, rectification of errors, then P&L, and then the balance sheet. So இது எல்லாமே வந்து ஒரு full cycle, அந்த accounting cycle பண்ணும்போது subsidiary books for transactions அங்க it will get posted. Cash book based on the types of the cash book, and then the as usual ledger posting, TB, everything will remain the same. Okay. Cash flow, the third activity is financing activity. Financing activity. Okay. Subsidiary books, they have these books are specifically maintained for the purchases and sales transactions of everything on a credit how will I say, like say for example you are purchasing goods. Okay, it can be a 1 second. It can be a cash purchase or a credit purchase, right? Can be a cash sale or a credit sale. So these subsidiary books will have the transactions on credit basis only. Okay, so cash transactions will not get posted here. And secondly, when I say purchase and sale, it can be a purchase and sale of goods. It can also be of assets. So goods alone will appear in the subsidiary books. For assets, it will not appear. Okay. Yes, petty cash book can also be considered. Petty cash book deals with all your petty items, all small expenses: stationery, printing, painting, printing, okay, posting, conveyance, all petty expenses. There are few terms which needs to be discussed. Yes, you are right. Only the credit transactions. Okay, we just discussed few terms. and then we'll move on further. 1 second. Huh? Okay, sorry, ma. See, we'll just discuss a few terms here and there, and then we'll proceed further with the basics. So, as we all know, capital is the amount invested by the proprietor, right? Just அப்படியே யோசிச்சுனே வாங்க எல்லாத்தையுமே லைனா. Okay. Drawings is the amount withdrawn by the proprietor for his personal use. Correct? Okay. Now, when I say liability, you're welcome, Monica. Even every first class, the first class will be batch, I feel like I'm going back to my 11th standard only. It's always, recollecting of all the things. See, liability can be split into current liability and non-current liability. Okay. Now, current liability as a term means that anything which can be payable within 12 months. We call it as a current liability. Non-current liability is more than 1 year. You call it as non-current liability. Yes, right. Then assets, it can be tangible or intangible, both put together. Again, assets can also be categorized as current and non-current. Current asset, same, can be converted into cash within 12 months. Non-current asset is more than 12 months. All your fixed assets comes under your non-current asset. Okay. Then expenses. No, I'm not giving any notes here, ma. I'm just discussing. Okay. That is why I have not scrolled the screen. Okay. Expenses. Expenses can be outstanding, prepaid. Outstanding expenditure is what? What is outstanding expenditure? The expenditure has been incurred, but it is not yet paid. But it pertains to that financial year. Okay, so that is why it is called as outstanding expense. Prepaid is you have paid the expenditure of the next period also. Okay, it doesn't belong to the financial year, this financial year, but you have paid it in advance. That we call it as prepaid expense. Similarly, accrued income is, it belongs to this financial year. It is yet to be received. We call it as accrued income. Income received in advance is you have received much ahead. Okay, we call it as commission. All these things we call it as income received in advance. Correct? Okay. Then what else? Purchases, sales. Trading account level stock purchases, purchase returns, sales returns, and then wages. We have all the direct expenses. You arrive at the gross profit. Yes, what you said is right, Manoj. Then we have the profit and loss account, all the recurring expenses like salary, rent, office expenses, maintenance, conveyance, right? After having posted all the expenses, incomes left, commission received, dividend received, right? Profit on sale. So after posting all these things, you have the net profit or net loss. Then you prepare the balance sheet. When you prepare, yeah, depreciation is there. You're right. Depreciation. When you prepare the balance sheet, you have the capital. Along with the capital, you add the net profit. If it is a loss, you reduce the net loss and then you reduce the drawings. Yes, correct. Then debtors are called as trade receivables. Creditors are called as trade payables. Okay. Then bank loan. On the asset side, you have the current assets, non-current assets. Under current, you can have all the inventory, bills receivable. Non-current will have your tangible fixed assets. So at the end, the balance sheet has to tally. This is what is your a proper final account, trading P&L and balance sheet is. Okay. Bank overdraft is company is taking it's like a borrowing of money by the company from the bank. It's called as the bank overdraft. Okay. Okay, these are few terms here and there. So as and when we discuss the chapters, we will learn all the other terms. So I'm proceeding further. அதே பேஜ்ல இருக்கு ஏன்னா நான் பேஜை மூவ் பண்ணதுனால அதே பேஜ்ல இருக்கு இல்லப்பா. Okay, I'm going to the next concept, accounting concepts and conventions. Accounting concepts and conventions. Okay, mark this topic as important. Working capital is current assets minus current liabilities. Okay, how much current assets I hold more than the current liability? It's called as your working capital. Okay, suspense account suspense account actually it differs actually. Okay, I will explain you about the suspense account. I will discuss on the rectification of errors. அப்போ வந்து உங்களுக்கே வந்து புரியும் சரியா? See, bank overdraft is company is borrowing money from the bank, right? So when it borrows money from the bank, it is called as a bank overdraft or bank OD. So it will come for the examination, either as theory or like an objective question. Okay, first one, business entity. The first, yes, am I audible? Okay, the first thing is business entity. We are going to discuss the assumptions first, and then the principles, and then the modified principles. Okay, first one underneath the assumptions, first one is business entity. Okay, now business entity, business and owner are different. Entries are recorded from the business point of view. I hope no one is sleeping, right? Please listen to this theory portion, mark it as important. So business, okay, very good. Business and owned one is different. See, when you record the transactions, journal entry portraiture, same example we will take. company is buying an computer. Company is buying a computer. Say for example, 50,000 rupees, it's buying a computer. So computer account data to cash account. So when you record this transaction, you record it from the business point of view. So owners are considered as the creditors. Owners are always considered as the creditors. So the company is under the obligation to repay back the amount invested by the proprietor. So that is why a business is always different from the owner. The owner is different and the business is different. The first concept is business entity concept. The second one is going concern. Going concern means if the company goes on for indefinite period. Okay. The company goes on for indefinite period. There is no intention to close the business. Okay. As such, it is assumed that the company goes on for an indefinite period and there is no intention to close the business. இதெல்லாம் வந்து நான் எதுல சொல்றேன், it is coming under the assumptions. You are assuming that the transactions are. You want me to give an example on business entity? Okay. Hey, example onnu illada. See, business entity is nothing but you're recording the business. See, proprietor have paid the money. Okay. ஆனா நம்ம வந்து accounting எல்லாமே எந்த angle இருந்து பண்றோம்? You account it from the business angle, right? The company's point of view. Another it is called as a business entity concept. Though it is a proprietorship based business, the transactions are recorded from the business point of view. That is why it is called as business entity. The first assumption, you are assuming that. The second assumption is going concern. Going concern is, again, you are assuming that the company doesn't have any intention of closing down. It is going to continue in the future for an indefinite period. The third assumption is money measurement concept. Money measurement means the transactions are recorded in terms of money. For example, 3 vehicles, 10 computers. Okay, third point. Transactions are recorded in terms of money. For example, okay. See, when you record the transaction, I am buying a computer, right? I bought one computer for 50,000 rupees. How do I record? Computer account data to bank account. The amount column, I write it as 50,000. I don't write it as computer number 1. Ilya? So, if I say in my balance sheet, I have 3 buildings, I have 4 computers, I have 10 cars. Does it make any value to the balance sheet? Unless and until you convert it in terms of money, you will not know what has happened, right? So money measurement oda meaning enna, every transaction has to be recorded in terms of money. Ingita 6 truck irukku, I bought 6 tons of raw material, I have 10 lakh cash, ingita vandu 10,000 square yards land irukku. So all these informations will not help the users to take proper decisions. Only when it is properly reflected in terms of money, the people can take decisions. So assumption is what? Transactions are recorded only in terms of money. Then fourth assumption is, number 4 is accounting period. Accounting period is, it's usually 1 year. See, if you keep on passing entries, you're purchasing, selling, you're taking loan, you're spending money for expenses, again you're selling asset, purchasing asset, you keep on doing transaction, you keep on recording. At one point of time, you need to keep a full stop and you have to arrive at the profit or loss made by the company. Yeah. So that full stop you call it as an accounting period. It is usually 1 year. So generally it is, we follow what? April to March, from 1/4 to 31st March. Sometimes it can also be from Jan to December, or else it can also be from April to March. But predominantly, we follow what? April to March. So accounting period is usually only 1 year. That is what is assumed. Then fifth assumption is accrual. Okay, accrual is transaction is recorded on accrual basis and not on cash basis. Accrual உங்க எல்லாருக்கும் தெரிஞ்சிருக்கும், right? It is recorded when it is entered and not when settlement takes place. Right? Cash outflow inflow base பண்ணி நம்ம follow பண்ணுவோம். It's called as cash base of accounting. But do we follow cash base of accounting? No. In our double entry of bookkeeping, we are supposed to follow what? Accrual basis. And now we bring in the concept of outstanding expenses. Prepaid expenditure வந்து, though I have not paid the money to the staff as a salary, still I book it as an expenditure. Salary account data to outstanding salary, I post the entry. Why? Because we are supposed to follow the accrual concept. ஏன்னா அந்த வருஷத்துக்கான expenditure அது. Though I have not paid it, it pertains, it belongs to that financial year. Hence, I book it as an expenditure. Whereas prepaid, I have paid it in advance, but it doesn't belong to this financial year. Now, I book it as a prepaid expenditure and I reduce it from the respective expenditure in the profit and loss account. Yeah. So that is why it is called as the accrual concept. Whereas cash concept, you enter the transaction only when we actually receive the cash or only when you actually pay the cash. Okay, the cash inflow எப்ப வருதோ அப்பதான் you book in the transaction. Only when you pay the salary, you pay it as a salary account to cash. Whereas accrual concept is not based on whether the cash is received or cash is paid. Instead, you book the transaction when it is entered. Okay, wow. And the March month, suppose for example, April to March. Okay. April to March April to March March month staff's salary will be paid on the 7th day of April, whereas I have to close the books of 31st March. So close pandracha for the entire period April to March I have the salary expenses only for 11 months. In a 12th month March or a salary is paid only in the month of April, but I have received the services from the employee, right? Benefits I have enjoyed. In that case, I have to pay him, but I'm going to pay him only in the April month, right? So as of 31st March, the book needs to be closed. So what I do is I book it as an expenditure salary, but since I have not paid him, I show it as what? Outstanding salary. So salary account data to outstanding salary account. So with this entry, what will happen is your profit and loss account, along with the salary expenditure, the outstanding salary will also get added. The second impact is what? The outstanding salary will be shown in the balance sheet liabilities side since the amount is yet to be paid. Okay, this is what is called as the accrual concept. And the you have to book it as an expenditure or as an income. Correct? In case if it belongs to next financial year, you can adjust it accordingly as advance payment or advance receipt. Shariyamma? This is what is called as your accrual concept. Okay. So what are the assumptions we discussed? Business entity. Business entity. See, business entity business entity is again it is booked from the company point of view. See, owners are always considered as separate. They are distinct from the business. Okay, owners are actually considered as the creditors of the business. Creditors because they have contributed the money to the business. And the business of the point it has to be repaid back to the proprietors. So business entity. Second one is what? Going concern. Going concern is no intention to close down the business. Then third is what? Money measurement. Money measurement is everything has to be valued in terms of money. Supposing for example a company a sales manager and production manager had a quarrel. Can it be recorded in your accounts? No, right? Because money is a that the common unit of measurement, money and the rupee da vandu enna namakku, it's a unit of measurement for all the transactions. So everything has to be valued in terms of money. Next enna paathom, accounting period. Accounting period can be either April to March or Jan to December, because you need to arrive at the tentative figure of profit or loss made by the company for that one financial year. Then accrual concept is transactions recorded when it is actually entered and not when the actual settlement takes place. Accrual திரும்ப சொல்லணுமா? சரி சொல்றேன். Outside expense example சொல்றேன். So எல்லாருக்கும் வந்து புரிஞ்சிடும். See, accrual concept அப்படிங்கிறது பே பண்றோமோ பண்ணலையோ, you have to book the transaction. காசு வருதோ வரலையோ, you book the transaction. That is what is called as the accrual concept. வர வேண்டியது, கொடுக்க வேண்டியது, you book it. வந்தா மட்டும்தான் அக்கௌண்ட் பண்ணுவேன், வரலன்னா அக்கௌண்ட் பண்ண மாட்டேன் அப்படின்னா இட் இஸ் கால்ட் as the cash basis. ஓகேவா? அதனால அவுட்ஸ்டாண்டிங் சேலரி ஏன் புக் பண்றோம்னாக்கா அந்த வருஷத்தோட அந்த அந்த இயர்க்கு இட் பர்டைன்ஸ். ஓகே, சோ கொடுக்க வேண்டிய லைபிலிட்டி அது. ஓகே, எம்ப்ளாயர் கிட்ட இருந்து நான் பெனிஃபிட்ஸ் ஐ ஹேவ் என்ஜாய்ட். சரியா? ஆக்சஸ் நான் வந்து salary வந்து April 7th தான் கொடுக்க போறேன் அப்படின்னாக்கா my salary expenditure will fall only in the month of April, which means in the current financial year வந்து I have booked salary only for 11 months, whereas I have enjoyed the services for 12 months. See, I'm trying to explain both in English and Tamil. I had a personal request from a student to explain in Tamil. That's why I'm trying to explain it in Tamil. So please don't mind. So first time I always explain it in English. Second, if a request comes from the student person to explain in Tamil, I go for Tamil words. Okay, please don't mind. Bear it with me because each and every student is important to me. Okay. See, அதே மாதிரி next thing is your paid in advance. Paid in advance, your best example is what? Insurance. கரெக்டா? So insurance சொல்லும்போது என்ன பண்றோம்? Insurance வந்து எல்லாமே வந்து we pay the amount of premium, right? Supposing April to March is the financial year. ஓகேவா? Janல வந்து you are paying the insurance premium for the 6 months. பே பண்ணும்போது ஜான்லயே வந்து நீங்க பே பண்ணிடுறீங்க. So Jan to March க்கு 3 months க்கு முடிஞ்சிருக்கு. So பாக்கி 3 months க்கு வந்து you have paid it in advance. பாக்கி 3 months ஓடது வந்து you have paid it in advance. It belongs to the next financial year, but you have paid the amount in this financial year itself. In that case, that amount of premium, whatever you have paid for the 3 months, is called as your prepaid expenses. Okay. This is what is called as your accrual concept. I want the second heading. Make it bigger. Okay, I'll do it. Now you are able to see this screen fully. Okay. Second thing is principles. So all these things, whatever we discussed, comes under the heading assumptions. The second heading is principles. First one is revenue recognition. The amount to be recognized is the amount certainly realizable and it is not based on order, which means the amount to be recognized is the amount certainly realizable. கண்டிப்பா வந்து பணம் வந்துரும். ஓகேவா? What is revenue? When does revenue happen? When you sell goods, you get the sale amount, right? That is what is called as revenue. Just 2 minutes, so I'll be back. Have some water and come. Hello. Is sorry. Okay, we're discussing on the revenue recognition concept, right? கேட்கறது இல்லையாமா? Okay. சரிப்பா. See, the amount to be recognized is the amount certainly realizable and is not based on the order, which means it is recognized at the point of sale or when the service is being rendered. So revenue எப்படி recognize பண்ணோம் அப்படின்னா, revenue is considered to have been realized when transaction is entered and the obligation to receive is being established. So first of all, what is revenue? Revenue is nothing but your sale. Yeah, the sale of goods. That's what is called as your revenue. See, supposing I'll give you two examples. Okay, let's take two examples. First example, supposing a company is what month we are in? We are in Feb. No, in the month. It's February, right? Okay. Supposing a company is selling goods in this month, February. Okay. A company is selling goods in February. Revenue recognition concept I'm explaining. Okay. We are selling goods in February. The company is selling the goods in February. It is receiving the amount in, say, for example, 2 months credit production. The company is receiving the amount in April. Now, when will you book the revenue? Will you book the revenue in February or will you book it in April? Yes. Can you please reply in the chat? The company is selling the goods in February. It is receiving the amount in April. When will you book the revenue? Why not in April? Why not in April? Okay, fine. See, the sale will be recognized in February when the goods are being sold. Okay, the legal obligation to sell has happened in February itself. Okay, Adnala, what you people have said the right answer. You book the transaction in the February itself. Okay, April is exchange. April is only for the inflow of money. Okay, cash ku mattumna April. Otherwise, February the legal obligation, the obligation to receive and the position to receive has got established in February itself. So you book the sale transaction and the revenue transaction in February itself. Yes. Okay. Supposing I'll give you another example. Second example, same situation. The company is receiving an advance amount in February for a sale that which will be made in, say, for example, May June vechikalam. The company is yes, you're right. See, second example is the company is receiving the advance amount in February, okay, for a sale which will happen in the month of May. June vechikalama, say June vechikalam. For the sale will happen in June. Now tell me, when will you book the sales? You will book the sales in February or in June? Okay. June is the right answer. Anna celebrate Feb சொன்னீங்க, but why Feb? See, Febல you're only receiving the advance amount. Okay, so order கிடைக்கிறதும் advance கிடைக்கிறதும் it is not an assurance that the sale will happen. Juneல தான் the sale transfer be posted. Yes, true. So what you said is right. So அதனால there's a difference. So advance amount received. Okay. Yes, the order will be coming only in June. So now we are considering only in the month of June. The money is received in February itself. Advance amount மட்டும் தான் வந்திருக்கு. அதனால ஜூன்ல தான் treated as a sale transaction. Now you understand revenue recognition. So the amount to be recognized is the amount certainly realizable. So order கிடைச்சதுன்றதுனால it doesn't become your sale transaction. கண்டிப்பா எனக்கு பணம் கிடைக்கும், நான் டெலிவரி பண்ணிடுவேன், அவங்களுக்கு பணம் வந்துரும்ன்ற ஒரு சிச்சுவேஷன் கிரியேட் ஆகும்போது தான் you book it as a revenue transaction. The advance amount have to pay. Yes, correct. Correct. Okay. This is what is called as your revenue recognition concept. Then second thing is what? Matching concept. Matching principle is another. The same value, the revenue and the expenses both are recognized. Revenue and expenses are recognized. For that advance amount, only on the cash to the party மட்டும் I would have booked. Okay, cash to that party மட்டும் I would have posted the entry. When the sale happens, I'll book it as what? Party to sales. சரியா Praveen? Then the matching concept is revenue and expenses both are recognized. See, when you sell, it is the sale value of a product. Right? Sell pandronaka, adukku you would have incurred some cost, right? That cost of the product is recognized as an expense. Avladha. Both revenue and the expenses needs to be recognized. That is what is called as the matching principle. The third principle is what? Yes, advance entry will be posted in February. You're right. The third principle is full disclosure. Full disclosure means no concealment. Concealment la enadhu edhiyume marakka kodadu. Okay, the financial statements should be useful and not misleading. எதையுமே வந்து மறைக்க கூடாது. Okay, so complete reporting of all significant information. Complete reporting means the financial statement should be drafted in such a manner that it should not reveal, it should not hide any information to the users. It has to convey each and every aspect of the company is concerned about. For example, the company வந்து turnover வந்து ரொம்ப லோவா இருக்கு வெச்சுக்கோங்க, sales ரொம்ப லோவா இருக்கு அப்படினாக்கா the reasons for low turnover should also be disclosed. It can be hidden. So full disclosure means no concealment, everything has to be disclosed. Then fourth principle, dual aspect. Dual aspect means each transaction has dual impact on financial position, because we are following what? Double entry system of. Now double entry system school la ஞாபகம் இருக்கா படிச்சதெல்லாம்? Double entry system la you will get these notes kana, don't worry. நீங்க எதுவும் short note la எதுவுமே எழுத வேண்டாம். சரி, system யார் கண்டுபிடிச்சா? Come on, let me see. Who's going to tell me? Yes, yes ma'am, you remember சொன்னவாள்லாம் எங்க காணோம்? वाह, क्या बात है, super, very good, nice. You cope as your life, right? Very good, very good, very good. I appreciate your memory power. நல்லா படிச்சிருக்கீங்க 11th and 12th ல. Today for every debit there must be a corresponding and equal, correct? சாணக்கியாவா? அது யாரு? Google. Very bad. This is very bad. I actually that you people will recollect and come back with the person's name. You Google பண்ணி சொல்லிருக்கீங்க. Fine. QK Passiole தான் வந்து it's important of that double ended system. Okay. சரி, ஓகே. இதுக்கு மேல நான் எந்த கொஸ்டினும் கேட்கல. எது பண்ணாலும் நீங்க கூகுள் பண்ணி சொல்லுங்க. அடுத்த கொஸ்டின் அடுத்த இதுக்கு போறேன். fine. So dual aspect is both the aspects needs to be recorded, right? So as we all know, for every debit there must be a corresponding and equal credit. Yeah. Okay, I'll give you one example. Again, just a recollection da. Rajiv started business with cash rupees 1 lakh. Let me repeat. Rajiv started business. நான் நினைச்சேன் 1945 அப்படின்னு நான் எதுவும் கொஸ்டின் கேட்கல. Fine. Rajiv started business with cash rupees 1 lakh. Now there are two aspects. Yeah. Now one thing is what is the asset. Okay. One thing is what is the asset. Cash worth rupees 1 lakh. Fifth point, I'm still with the dual aspect. Okay. One thing is the asset worth rupees 1 lakh. The second thing is what is the liability. Very good. Capital, which is 1 lakh. So both the debit and the credit. Very nice. Super. So dual aspect of it is well explained. Amma, our father of double in. Next, fifth concept. Number 5 is verifiable objective evidence. Verifiable objective evidence. Accounting data should be capable of being verified. See, capable of being verified means it must be verified by documentary evidences like vouchers and invoices. Okay. Dual aspect patti one time kanna puriyala. Dual aspect na onnu illa. It will have both debit and credit. That is what is called as a dual aspect. Another example, Rajiv started business with cash rupees 1 lakh. So cash it's an asset, right? So அது வந்து debitல வந்துரும். Credit வந்து என்னது? It's a liability. Liability cash account data to proprietor's capital account நம்ம போடுவோம். Why it is called as a liability? Because the business is under an obligation to repay back the amount to the proprietor, right? That's why it's called as a liability. Okay, so both debit and the credit. Now, so verifiable objective evidence the accounting data should be capable of being verified, which means it must be supported with the documentary evidences. Yes, cash to Rajan's capital. Correct. What you said is right. Okay. So vouchers, invoices, okay, bills, இது எல்லாமே வந்து உங்களுக்கு documents to support the transaction. ஏன் இந்த documents வேணும் அப்படின்னாக்கா only then the transactions will be free from personal buyers. Personal buyers நாக்கா management ஓட எந்த interference-உம் இல்லாம the transaction will get posted. Okay, supposing you're buying some goods. Okay, goods வந்து உள்ள வரும்போது when it enters into the factory, okay, you have various documents. So first வந்துட்டு ஒரு invoice இருக்கும், then you'll have the delivery, have the goods received note. அப்புறம் factory குள்ள போனதுக்கு அப்புறமா அங்க ஒரு documentation. So all the documents will be cross checked and cross verified so that the goods received and the goods delivered from the vendor, everything matches. So each and every transaction should be supported by the evidences. The verifiable objective evidence. Then next concept is what? Historical cost. Historical cost means the asset is recorded actual cost reduced by the depreciation. Again, we follow this concept, right? Till date depreciation. That's how we record the assets in our balance sheet. This is what is called historical cost. Irrespective of the market value, we still follow the concept of continuing to close the asset under the historical cost concept method, wherein the asset minus depreciation is what is the value of the asset as on the balance sheet date. Then last is the balance sheet equation. Nyabaka balance sheet equation. Assets is equal to liability capital. இதெல்லாம் match பண்ணுவோம், ஞாபகம் இருக்கா? என்ன பண்ணாலும் it has to get tallied. Plus minus எல்லாம் பண்ணி லாஸ்ட்ல வந்து it has to get tallied. Yes. இதான் உங்களோட ஃபர்ஸ்ட் சம்மா இருக்கும் 11th standard bookல. கரெக்ட்டா? அக்கவுண்டிங் ஈக்குவேஷன். Okay, fine. So all these principles are under your heading, principles heading. Okay, so let me repeat those headings. Revenue recognition, then matching concept, full disclosure, dual aspect, verifiable objective evidence, historical cost, and then the balance sheet equation. Then third one is the modifying principles. Now modifying principles, number one is what? Materiality. Okay. Transaction is said to be material if it influences the users or the decisions of the users. It can be an amount or error or violation of law. See, materiality means those items that needs to be disclosed which has a significant effect. When I say significant effect, I'll give you two examples. Okay, first one, supposing assuming that a rule under the Companies Act says that the director, uh, the director's remuneration to be paid should not exceed rupees 1 lakh. Okay, I'm just giving an example. Okay, in the rule act, I'm giving an example. The act says that the director's remuneration should not exceed rupees 1 lakh per month. Suppose in the same financial year, that company has paid a remuneration to one of the whole-time directors as 1,50,000, right? So it's a violation of law, correct? The law says that it should not exceed 1 lakh. Now the company has paid how much? 1,50,000. It is a violation of law. Clear? So it means it is a material transaction, which means such transaction needs to be highlighted or informed to the users of the financial statement. Let me repeat. The rule says that the act prohibits the payment of remuneration to the directors more than rupees 1 lakh. Which means 1 lakh directors remuneration okay. Whereas the company they have paid remuneration to one of the directors as 1,50,000. Managing director remuneration 1 lakhக்கு மேல கொடுக்க கூடாது அப்படின்னு சொல்லி ஆக்ட்ல ரூல் இருக்கு. சரியா? ஆனா அந்த ரூலை என்ன பண்றான்? 1,50,000 ஒரு டைரக்டருக்கு கொடுத்துட்டான். Okay, so this is a violation. Violationனாக்கா நான் லாவை மீறி நான் வந்து பண்றேன் அப்படிங்கிற மாதிரி. 1 lakh மேல கொடுக்க கூடாது, ஆனா 1,50,000 நான் வந்து கொடுத்துட்டேன். Okay, now in this situation such type of transactions are called as the material transaction. ஏன் அப்படின்னாக்கா இது மாதிரி ரொம்ப significant விஷயமா இருந்தாலும் it needs to be highlighted or informed to the users of the financial statement. So who are the users? First பார்த்தோம் users. யாரெல்லாம் users? Yes, can anybody say the user of the financial statement? We discussed in the beginning of the class. Yeah, you're right. Shareholder, employees, government, competitors. Yes, correct. Okay. அவங்க எல்லாரும் தான் வந்து யூசர்ஸ் சொல்றோம் இல்லையா? ஸோ அவங்களுக்கு this fact needs to be informed. என்ன fact? Companies Act prohibits payment of remuneration more than 1 lakh, but for this financial year, the director say A has been paid rupees 1,50,000. It is called as a material transaction. Just like violation of law, it can also be of mistake or error. Calculation of interest, calculation of income tax. So anything for that matter. Okay, இது வந்து கண்டிப்பா ஒருத்தர்கிட்ட சொல்லணும், சொல்ல வேண்டிய விஷயம் அப்படின்னாக்கா it becomes your material transaction. I'll give you one more example. The policy, company policy வந்து it says that whenever there is a foreign travel, so the whole 1,50,000 will be recorded as a material transaction. Though it is more than 1 lakh, 150,000 is excess, but still it will be highlighted. ஏன்னா அதை சொல்லிட்டு சொல்லுவாங்க, அப்பதான் வந்து it will be informed. Okay, so I'll give one. Suppose the company or a policy வந்து says that travel expenses of the spouse and the family is not can't be reimbursed. Okay, let me repeat. The travel expenses of the spouse and the family can't be reimbursed. Abdina, supposing the person is traveling abroad or traveling to any other place for some foreign meetings or negotiations, if he is taking a family also, only his travel alone can be reimbursed by the company. Our wife or family or travel cost will not be reimbursed. Okay, that is what the policy is. Ana அந்த வருஷம் என்ன travel expenses the company வந்து that person has claimed all the expenses. அதுல bills எல்லாமே என்னவா இருந்திருக்கு அப்படின்னாக்கா, the person who has traveled along with him, he has also claimed the travel expenditure of his wife and the entire family also. Okay, now this transaction is what? It is a material transaction. Okay, he is prohibiting the rules. Okay, so material transaction அப்படிங்கிறது when you violate, okay, when you make any mistake in calculation of any transaction, you highlight the transaction specifically so that people reading the financial statement will get to know what has happened, what mistake they have committed. சரியா? இது நான் புரியல உனக்கு. In second example புரியலையா? Should I repeat the second? Was the first example clear? Should I repeat the second one? See, second example is the travel policy. Say, whenever a person travels, the person's, yes, pakka. See, whenever the person travels, okay, the travel expenditure of the spouse and the family will not be reimbursed. That is what is the travel policy is saying. Okay, supposing in the same financial year, so let's say our general manager has traveled abroad, okay, and he's trying to claim the expenditure of the, he has traveled along with the family, okay, and he has traveled only for business negotiations, but other saka vachi has traveled with the entire family vechukongala. So poirkaru ana vandhu he is trying to claim the reimbursement vaangumbodhu he is trying to submit the expenditure of the entire family, our spouse or family எல்லாரோட காஸ்டையும் வந்து he has claimed for reimbursement அப்படின்னாக்கா it becomes your material transaction. Okay, இந்த மாதிரி டிரான்சாக்ஷன் கம்பெனில நடந்திருக்கு, things have happened in the company அப்படின்ற fact வந்து it has to be disclosed to the users. சரியா? Yes, it's highlighting the mistakes in the financial statements. Material transaction is good for company or it is not good. Okay, because we need to be cautious enough anyway. Can't be good. Okay, so this is what is called as a material transaction, materiality concept. The second concept is consistency. Consistency means the method adopted to be followed year to year should remain the same or consistent. It's the best example. Highlighted by the users இல்லக்கன்னா நான் சிக்னிஃபிகன்ட்ன்றது நான் வந்து சொல்றேன். Okay, so that people will know, the users வந்து தெரியணும், ஓகே இந்த விஷயம் நடந்திருக்குன்னு சொல்லி தெரியும், அவ்வளவுதான். Full disclosure is I cannot hide any facts. I have to disclose all the things whatever has happened inside the company. எதுவுமே நான் மறைக்க கூடாது. This is what is called as full disclosure. சரியா? Okay, so the second principle was consistency. The data can be year to another year. Okay, that is what, so that the same thing is followed from each and every year. The best example is depreciation. Yes, one of you have highlighted in the chat. Very good. Depreciation, supposing this year I'm following straight line method abinaka, next year also follow the same straight line method. If in case if I'm changing it from straight line to WDV method, that fact needs to be intimated. Okay, so consistency means following the same principle each and every year. In case there's going to be a change, that needs to be informed. Okay, you can also consider the FIFO method, DIFO method, inventory valuation. Yes, that can also be considered as an example for the consistency principle. Third one, prudence or conservatism. Prudence means anticipate no profits but recognize all losses. Anticipate no profits but recognize all losses. அப்படின்னா ஒரு கெயின் வருமா வராதான்னு தெரியாது. அதை வந்து you cannot book it, but if you expect any expenditure to happen in the future, you have to recognize it. How do we value the stock? We value it as what? Cost or market price, whichever is lower. இல்லையா? அதே மாதிரி for debtors, we provide for provision for doubtful debts. கரெக்டா? Discount debtors கொடுக்கிறோம். ஏன் இதெல்லாம் சொல்றோம்? Because we are dealing with uncertainty. Because we don't know, the customer doesn't turn up. Okay? We don't know. Yeah, adala we make provision for doubtful debts. We make provision for discount on debtors. Yes. So prudence or conservatism means you actually provide for the expenditure since you are not sure. Whereas for gains, you cannot do anything. Okay. So anticipate no profits, but account for all the losses. Sharia. Next principle is timeliness. Timeliness means everything has to be recorded date-wise, verifying day-to-day cash balance. So the chronological order. Like for example, we are in the month of February. February I can't book the transaction of October. Right? அதே மாதிரி அக்டோபருக்கு அப்புறம் வந்து it has to be November, and அக்டோபருக்கு அப்புறம் மே transaction வந்து book பண்ணக்கூடாது இல்லையா? So the transactions have to be booked in the chronological order, date wiseல இருக்கணும். So old and late information வந்து it is not useful for the decision maker. So relevant அந்த period ஏத்த மாதிரி the transaction needs to be booked according to the time. Then last principle is industry practice. Every industry has its own practice, like electricity, insurance, and banking. So generally, companies have their Companies Act. If electricity, insurance, and banking they have their own respective act. Electricity Regulation Act, Insurance Regulatory Development Authority (IRDA), Banking Regulation Act. Okay, so adnala the respective company acts it has to be follow. Okay. General companies Companies Act follow பண்ணனும். Otherwise the respective Companies Act needs to be followed. This is what is called as industry practice. Okay. So modifying principles are materiality, consistency, prudence or conservatism, timeliness, and then the industry practices. So all these three topics, assumptions, principles, and modifying principles, all these three topics are very important. So mark it as important for your theory question. See prudence உங்களுக்கு out of pocket cost நீங்க காசு கொடுக்கணும் அப்படினாக்கா you have to provide money. Okay, uncertainty deal பண்றதா is called as your prudence. But if you are going to expect some gain, okay, and the gain if you are not sure whether you will receive it or not abinaka, ignore it. But for an expenditure, in case if you have to pay that expenditure abinaka, you have to provide for it. This is what is called as your prudence. Okay. Full disclosure means you cannot hide any facts. Suppose the company I'll give you one example. The company has got has actually bought some investments, okay, but it wanted to hide that investment, and it said that fact need not be shown in the balance sheet. Okay, அவன் ஏதோ secrecy maintain பண்ணனும்னு நினைச்சிருக்கான் அந்த கம்பெனிக்கார. So he didn't want to show that investment in the balance sheet. Okay, so he said this to the auditor that I don't want to show the investments. Okay, so So அது வந்து என்ன ஆயிடும் உனக்கு இன்வெஸ்ட்மெண்ட் வந்து வாங்கியிருக்காங்க பட் the company is not willing to reveal that investment to the users. So that is called as the full disclosure principle வந்து company வந்து is not following அப்படின்ற மாதிரி ஆயிடுது, right? So everything has to be fully disclosed. Consistency is following the same method from each and every year to year. The same method needs to be followed. If it is not followed, that fact needs to be informed. Yes, all the three topics you can make it as important. Okay. No. So book வந்து you have to study ma. This PDF is only to guide you. Okay. இந்த heading na இந்த அர்த்தம்ன்றத உங்க கைட் பண்றதுக்காக மட்டும்தான். Okay. You have to make use of the book for writing the elaboratory answer for 5 marks. Okay. Yes, clear with the accounting concepts and principles. Okay, fine. Next topic we have is revenue realization. Yeah, you can write on your own words. No issues. Revenue recognition, you want me to explain, no? See, revenue recognition is at what point of time you have to recognize the revenue. எந்த இடத்துல நீங்க சேல் ரெகனைஸ் பண்ணணும், அதுதான் வந்து இட்ஸ் கால்ட் as revenue recognition. Okay, so எப்ப ரெவென்யூ ரெகனைஸ் பண்ணுவீங்க அப்படின்னாக்கா இட் இஸ் நாட் பேஸ்ட் ஆன் தி ஆர்டர். ஓகே, உங்களுக்கு செல் பண்ணலாம், இவங்க காசு வரும், when you are sure that you will realize the amount from a customer, you book the transaction as a sale. That is what is called as the revenue recognition concept. Okay, you can give examples. See, income அப்படிங்கிறது it is more or less as same as the profit you make. Revenue is the complete sale you make on goods. Okay. Okay. See, next concept is capital expenditure and revenue expenditure, but that will take time. So let me not start it now. We'll start it fresh in the next class. Okay, so let's have a recap. We just discussed on the few concepts like bookkeeping, financial accounting, cost accounting, and management accounting. We discussed on the accounting cycle, personal account and impersonal account, golden rules of accounting. We discussed in few terms here and there. And then we also discussed on the accounting concepts, principles, and the modifying principles. Right? Was it clear to you? Yes, that topic where revenue is recognized only when there is reasonable certainty, that comes under the revenue recognition concept. சரியாம்மா? கண்டிப்பா பணம் வரும்ன்ற அஷூரன்ஸ் தெரியும் இல்லையா ராஜா, அப்பதான் வந்து you book the amount as revenue. That is what is called as revenue recognition concept. சரியா? Cash flow வா? சரி, cash flow statement. I will discuss the pattern. I am just waiting for the assurance. எப்படி இருக்க போகுது ஜூன் எக்ஸாம்பிள் வந்து even I'm not very much sure. I will let you know. சரியா? அதனால தான் நான் வந்து full detailed அந்த பேட்டர்னுக்கு போகல, நான் சொல்றேன். பை ஹார்ட்லாம் பண்ணாதேங்கோ, ப்ளீஸ் ரைட் ஆன் யூ அண்டர்ஸ்டாண்ட் தி. இப்போ நான் சொன்னேன் இல்லையா, அர்த்தம் சொல்லியிருக்கேன், உங்களுக்கு புரிஞ்சிருக்கும் இந்த அர்த்தம், அதை வச்சு யூ கேன் ரைட் இட் ஆன் யுவர் ஓன் வேர்ட்ஸ். ஓகே ஓகே First, cash flow statement I'll explain, and then we'll come back to the industry practice and out path it. Just give me some time. See, cash flow statement is you're trying to explain the movement or the utilization of cash inside the company from the beginning to end. So, beginning to end, it can be a purchase of asset or sale of asset or inflow of money by taking a bank loan or repayment of bank loan. So என்னெல்லாம் அந்த வருஷம் நடந்திருக்கோ both you're categorizing the inflow of cash and the outflow of cash, you're splitting into three activities. The inflow outflow வந்து you're splitting into three activities: operating activities, investing activities and financing activities. Split பண்ணிட்டு you're trying to reveal how the cash has been utilized in each and every activity. This is what is called as the cash flow statement. Okay. One person has asked me about the industry practice. Industry practice அப்படிங்கிறது, see, companies not covered under see, companies not covered under companies act இருக்கு இல்லையா, அவங்களுக்குலாம் வந்து they have their own respective acts. அதுல வந்து யாரெல்லாம் இருக்கா அப்படின்னாக்கா, electricity companies, then you have banking regulation act, then you have insurance companies. So all these companies வந்து பார்த்தீங்கன்னாக்கா so these companies have their own respective acts. So they have to follow that particular acts while preparing their financial statements. Okay. So other than that, baki other companies they have to follow the Companies Act. But industry practice electricity, insurance and banking, they have the particular specified acts. They have to follow those rules and regulations. Yeah. Consistency, whatever you follow this year, consistent same method needs to be followed for each and every year. Okay, so the version straight line method, next year also you're supposed to follow the same straight line method. Okay. Verifiable objective evidence means every transaction should be supported by an evidence. Okay, that evidence can be either bills or invoices or vouchers. Other transaction நடந்திருக்கு, அதை support பண்ணி இருக்கணும், ஒரு evidence இருக்கணும். I will send you the PDF now. Historical cost, the date when the asset is purchased. Okay, from that date the cost of the asset minus the depreciation, that is what is called as the historical cost concept. Supposing this year I've got a car for rupees 6 lakh rupees. Okay, depreciation is 60,000. So what I will do is, in the year end I'll show the car value in the balance sheet as 6 lakh minus 60,000 as 5 lakh 40,000. Suppose the market value of the car is 5 lakh. Irrespective of whatever may the market value, I'll show it as what? Cost minus depreciations. This class will be only online. Should be there in the book. It's called as prudence or conservatism. Ilya. The prudence concept, that is what is called as conservatism. Sariya ma? I don't think offline classes will happen. The information is online. What is an invoice? Invoice. Say invoice is nothing but it's a document. Will have all the details of the company's name, address, PAN number, all information. ஒண்ணுமே இல்ல, நீங்க ஒரு ஏசி வாங்குறீங்கனாக்கோ ஒரு இன்வாய்ஸ் தருவோம். It's like an invoice. அவ்வளவுதான். It is a document to support the transaction. Every Friday we will meet 2 to 4. Offline class எப்ப ஆரம்பிக்கும்னு எனக்கு தெரியாதும்மா. I don't think there is any change in the book. I will let you know in case if it is there. ஆமா, லாஸ்ட் டைம் வந்து அப்படிதான் full portions வந்து myself and another faculty we both shared together and we finished off the portions. இந்த வாட்டியும் அப்படிதான் இருக்கும். ஓகே, சோ பண்ணலாம். How many months? கண்டிப்பா ஏப்ரல் வரைக்கும் ஓடும். புக்ஸ் கலெக்ஷன்லாம் நீ இன்ஸ்டியூட்ல தான்மா கேட்கணும். Thank you. Sure, Masha. கண்டிப்பா மெதுவா I will explain in a slow manner. Thank you. Sums are next class will start for sure. Okay. கண்டிப்பா உங்களுக்காகவே நான் திரும்ப தமிழ்ல எக்ஸ்பிளைன் பண்றேன். ஆமா, see, market price is the value of the asset, okay, at the end of the financial year. So on the market value impact will not be there in the balance sheet. We still follow that historical cost concept. So cost minus depreciation, that's what is called as the historical cost concept. Okay, and one more person I saw one doubt. Wait a second. Prudence or conservatism கேட்டிருந்தீங்க இல்லையா? See, you know, revenues you can't anticipate, right? But expenses and losses you have to provide. So now we are following the principle that unless and until you are not sure of the gain, you can't book that gain. Okay, but expense and losses you have to provide for the expenses and losses. That's what is called as the prudence or conservatism principle. Sariya? See, let's wind up the class with this. You will receive the recordings soon. PDF files நான் வந்து அனுப்பிச்சு கொடுத்துடுறேன். Okay, as such Fridays I will meet you from 2 to 4. There are few people who are from non-commerce stream. நீங்க எல்லாருமே வந்து of course நான் பேசிக்ஸ் சொல்றேன், அந்த இடத்துல வந்து நான் ஸ்லோவா தான் போவேன். But still ensure that you get 11th or 11th standard books வந்து வாங்கிக்கோங்க, so it will be useful for you to understand the basics. Okay, and question paper pattern also we will discuss. I will give you the updated one after having the circulars and notification. Sharia? Fine. So until I see you then next Friday, Pakla. Okay. Thank you so much. Please take care. Okay. Thank you, Ma. Thank you. Even I am also looking forward to take classes for you people. Thank you so much. கண்டிப்பா மெதுவா புரியுற மாதிரி சொல்லி தரேன். சரியா?